Okay, so I did a video a long time back about studying for the JLPT N1 as well as studying just tips for studying advanced Japanese in general, but I don't know, I guess I got shy or something and I deleted them. So I will redo those videos, but for the moment I just want to talk about what I'm going to be doing to study for the JLPT. If you don't know, the JLPT is the Japanese Language Proficiency Test, and it's given twice a year if you live in like Japan. It's given in July and December, and for most other countries it's given just once a year in December. For me, I'm going to be taking the test in December, and I'll be attempting to do the N1 once again. So for a little bit about my history, I studied Japanese in college and then I moved to Japan. I took the JLPT N2 about 2 times, maybe 3 times. And on my third try, I passed it. So I passed the N2 in December 2018. And then I took the N1 one time to just like test it out, like see, how it is. And then another time, seriously, and I failed both times. So, I was just like, oh my god. It is like a hard test, and I do find that sometimes with the JLPT, it's like a mixed bag. Like you can go into a test and there will be a whole bunch of things that you know, and then you'll take the test another time and it's like, yo, where did you get this stuff from? Like, this is nothing. Like there's nothing that I know. Like what? But I do think that while it's not the most accurate measure of your Japanese ability, I do think it is a very good tool to use to motivate you to study more. And I don't know, even though tests are like 3 hours long, I have fun taking them. I always took them in my prefecture that I live in, which is Saitama, over in Kumagaya. I don't live in Kumagaya, but I take the test in Kumagaya, and it's cool. But anyway, so yeah, I'm going to be doing the N1 again, which I don't know if there's really a lot that you can do to prepare for it besides just trying to absorb as much Japanese as possible. And I'm talking about like just listen to people every day, watch things every day, reading for various types of articles or books or games, just anything that you can do to just absorb, get that Japanese in your head, I am currently at a slight disadvantage. I don't know if I've mentioned it here or not, but I came back to the United States for like an extended vacation. So the goal is to be here from April until at least November, and then go from there, figure out from there like what I want to do. Maybe I'll do a different video on that, but being over in America, I have a slight disadvantage because I'm not in a Japanese speaking environment 24/7 anymore. In Japan, I worked in the school, so I was listening to people talk at the school every day, listening to the kids talk. I lived with my fiance, and he's Japanese, listening to him talk, hang out with like, his family. Like, there's Japanese all the time. But, in America, well, the United States, not America, the United States, not so much. But that's okay. I also don't have all of my resources. So I have like a ton of Japanese study books and books that I use to study advanced Japanese. And when you're in Japan, you have access to all of this cheaply. And I'm just like, I couldn't pack it all with me. I would have to have brought like a full suitcase of just books home. And, that's not possible. I have to pack other things. So I might have my fiance mail some of my books over to me so I can better study, but I haven't decided yet. But what I'll do for now is I'll go through some of the resources, the books, they're on my floor with me. Like, that's why I'm like, I'll go through some of the books that I plan to be using up until my other books come, and just why I'm using these books, and we'll just go from there. This is my first video for my road to N1. We'll see what happens. It's already May. I'm a little late. Probably should have started studying in January, but it's CP time. Anyway, so looking at my books, the first book that I have decided to use is the Nihongo So Matome N1 for reading. Dokkai. Why? Normally I use the Kanzen Master books, which I do have the reading one. I just left it in Japan. But I realized, after taking the test twice, I really need to start at a lower level and kind of build myself up. I find these books to be easier than the Kanzen Master. They're still perfectly fine. They're good books, but I find them to be easier than the Kanzen Master. So I'm starting from here so that hopefully by the time the rest of my books come, along with my drill books come from Japan, I'll be ready. And so far I like this book. I mean, every day you do a different reading. Kind of looks like this. And yeah, I keep my little thingies in the book when they're new. Whatever. Don't at me. And so it has readings, and then you answer the questions, and then the answers are in the back. And I don't know, it just kind of helps you build up to longer, harder readings. So that's number one. Number two that I'm using my Kanzen Master grammar books. I'm using the N2 and the N1. Why am I using both of them? Because I really feel that the N2 grammar book is mostly grammar that I hear every single day working in Japan. This in the N3 grammar, those two levels of grammar are the most frequently used grammar in history, in my opinion. I hear stuff that comes out of here every day. So I'm using this because I want to make sure I have a solid foundation in grammar that I need for just daily life, and B, because even if this grammar might not be tested on the grammar section, which sometimes it might be, or you might see it, and if you don't quite know the answer, if you know all the other grammar, you can kind of pick out the right answer. But even if you don't see it on there, when you're doing your readings, it's not like they're just going to isolate N1 grammar in the readings. You're going to see all the other grammar pop up in the readings. So it's good to just have you need a foundation. You need a good base. This is some useful crap. This is useful stuff, and that's why I'm going to be using this book too. The Kanzen Master questions, I do find that they are a little difficult sometimes, but I think the level is close to, if not sometimes harder, than what you would see on the JLPT. I do have just specific drill books for grammar and vocab and things like that, but like I said, half my collection is in Japan. So just take my word for it. Next, of course, N1 grammar. I will tell you that from the first 2 times around when I was studying for the JLPT, I didn't really see a lot of this grammar in places. Some of it I see, but a lot of it I don't. Maybe it's the type of stuff that I was reading. So I'm going to try and search for more of this grammar in the wild, because I feel if you see these, and this is for vocabulary too, if you see this stuff frequently, or you see it used or you use it, you're more likely to remember it. And I think that is much more important than just cramming it for a test. If you really want to be successful in your Japanese studies and get the most out of it, I think you should always have it in the back of your mind that you're learning this to use it. And I think, well, that's for me is very important. I wish the JLPT tested speaking, because I feel like that would give you a little bit like a fuller gauge of what your level is. But those are my 2 grammar books that I have here in the States for now. Oh, actually, no, I have one more. I found this book at Book Off. This is a grammar book for, it's Japanese grammar for junior high school levels 1 through 3. 1 to 3, whatever, you know what I mean. And this is a book that's geared towards native speakers, and I'm going to be going through this book as well. Like I said, I'll do a video specifically on how I study advanced Japanese when I get my books, but I will say that if you are at the level where you can start using resources for native speakers, and they even have resources that might be a little bit easier, you know, if you're maybe not fully there, but if you can start using resources that are made for native speakers, like, dive right in. They have a ton of like Kokugo books, like Japanese language books, and they have them for kanji, they have them for grammar, how to put sentences together, they have them for everything. Like, if you are at that level and you're really trying to seriously go for like N1 and beyond, I highly suggest it. Okay, so next on my book list, I need to work on kanji as well as some vocabulary. And honestly speaking, I love kanji. I think kanji is like the best thing. It makes things so much easier. So, you know, that's where I'm coming from. For my kanji books, I don't have my Kanzen Master Kanji book here, but that's okay. I'm going to be using this book, which is a list of the kanji that is learned in junior high school. This is another one of those books that's geared more towards native speakers, but I think it's very helpful. What this book has is each chapter is like, it's separated by chapter, which goes by the reading of the kanji. So it looks like this. You'll have a couple of kanji, and then it'll have how to write it, and then it'll have some common compounds that it's in, and then you just have to write the kanji in this box. And then once you turn the page, it will have a quiz. The answer book just fell out, don't worry about it. It'll have a quiz, and then you just have to, can you see that? Well, believe me, it's a quiz, and then it'll give you the word written in katakana, and you just have to write the right kanji in the this little bracket, and it comes with an answer book right here. I like this book because it has all the kanji that, you know, you're supposed to learn in junior high school. What is difficult though is that because it's listed by the kanji, like how you read the kanji, for example, on this page, everything, like the own reading is, for all of them, is either sho or jo. So if you're just trying to learn them just like in that order, it can be difficult because they all have the same reading. Well, you know, sho, jo, yeah, they pretty much all have the same reading. So it's like, you have to like know the words in order to do that quiz. It's like, how do I pick the right sho? But like I said, of course, you have to know the word. So that can be difficult. I kind of don't like when I learn kanji with similar readings at the same time, especially if I don't have a lot of context behind the words to begin with. I think it's harder to remember the right kanji. But for this, what I'll probably end up doing is taking a few words from different pages and then mixing them up. And I think that might help me remember it a little bit better, so that when I do come across kanji with the same reading, I already kind of have a feel for, I have a feel for the kanji because I've been working with them for a while. So I still haven't figured out, if I'm going to do it that way or what exactly I'm going to do, but I'm going to make it work. But that's my current kanji book. That's what we're going with until I get home. Is Japan home? Whatever. Until I get back, so I get home, whatever. And then, finally, the N1 test doesn't really specifically test for this, though you might see it in some of the readings. But one of my goals has been to get better at business Japanese and speaking more politely. So I have some Keigo books that I will be going through. This one is like you learn Keigo through manga, and then it has like each word, and then it'll have like a little picture and example sentences and some like a little explanation behind the word or why they say what they say. This is actually really useful because it covers Sonkeigo, Kenjogo, Teinego, and Aratamatta Iikata, and just a lot of usefulness. Good reference book. Then I have one of my favorite things in the world. I love drill books that are meant for like grade schoolers, or this one's for adults. Like, I love drill books, and they have these for, like I said before, for like all types of things, for kanji, like all the kanji that you have to learn in elementary school and all types of things. But this one's the Keigo one, and what you do is each day you have like each day, or however many days a week you want to do, it doesn't really matter, but it's set up so that each day there's like a little bit of a background onto what you're going to do, and then the next page you have to answer the questions, and there's a little answer sheet in the back so that you can check your answers. So I'm using this one as my main, not my main, but as my first review, because I did already learn Keigo, I just never used it. I listen to it a lot. Like, if you speak to me with Keigo, I'm like, oh, hey, what's up? But for me to use it, it's like a whole nother world. And then, once I get through with that, I will use this one for adults. And this one is probably going to be some good study material, because compared to that one, look at this. Text heavy. So it'll probably end up being useful for my N1 studies and beyond. So that is that. As I said, for now, I do not have the majority of my books, so I'm going to be using those textbooks. Did I say textbooks right? I'm going to be using those textbooks, and I do have some Japanese books floating around my house, so I'll be reading those. I have to read a lot more, so blogs, articles, books, whatever I can get my hands on, I need to read. So I might use this as an excuse to go to Book Off. And, I'll be making some flashcards for I'm looking at them like right over there behind the camera. I have my flashcards, I have my index cards, because I like to hand make my flashcards. I tried using Anki, but I just can't get into it. I also tried Memorize, like all those digital things. It doesn't work for me. I have to make my flashcards, and when I make my flashcards, the act of actually writing out the words in the kanji, it helps me remember them. So I have to do it by hand. It is what it is. I tried. I'm not digital. And, I'll be doing that. And, of course, I can still use my Amazon Prime account or my Netflix account to watch Japanese movies and videos. So I'll be doing that as well for listening practice. And I will probably look for some podcasts or an audiobook that's in Japanese, because I really have to keep up with my listening as best as I can, so as to so I can be okay during the test time. And I think that's it for now. I mean, I'm just going to really do what I can until I can do better. But once I get the rest of my Japanese books and my drill books and my other vocab books and everything over here from Japan, or if I go back instead, I'm not sure which one will happen first, but whichever way doesn't really matter. But once that happens, I'll go ahead and do another video on books that I use to study advanced Japanese, as well as an update on how my studies are going, and some more books. Like, I'll show you the drill books and the test books and the pattern books, things that can actually help you get used to the question formats and just the test in general, because I think having preparation for that is just as important as studying the material. Because if you know what to expect on the test, then you'll be a little bit calmer, and it might be a little bit easier for you to answer the questions when you kind of know how the test thinks. Do you get what I'm saying? But that's another time. So for now, I'm going to end here, and I appreciate you watching, and thank you for joining me on my journey to the N1. I hope we can do it this year. N1 or bust. But if you are interested in seeing more about the N1, or you have any questions, just leave a comment down below. If you want to know more about studying Japanese, leave a comment down below. If you found this helpful, then please like or subscribe. No, not or. Like this video and subscribe to my channel. Yes, join me. Be part of my crew. I don't have a crew yet, which is why I want you to join me. But we will make a crew when you come. So like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.